Arsenal Fan TV America, welcome back. Midweek episode. Of course, you're going to tell me, hey, listen, there's no football really, other than that second game for the African Champions League. And that ended in Al Ahly beating Al Wydad Casablanca at Morocco at Al Wydad Casablanca's home. And that's actually kind of revenge for Ahly because the club of the century, of course, as we all know, Al Ahly, the Egyptian king of Africa, as now they're calling it, were beaten last year by Al Wydad at Morocco at the same stadium, and Al Wydad won the cup last year. This year, it was a different story. It was two legs, two games, ended in Cairo, 2-1 for Al Ahly, and then they went to Al Wydad and were able to get a draw, 1-1. And of course, they came back with the cup. So congratulations for Al Ahly, but not a whole lot of other football going around, other than friendlies. But I'm coming to you today with transfers and what's happening and rumors. We are going to start with, of course, Arsenal, your beloved Arsenal Football Club. Declan Rice. Very important for us to move on Declan Rice very, very quick. Now, why we say that? Because he is a great player. And lots of clubs at the Premier League want his service. He captained West Ham. He just won a cup for them, a major European championship, the UEFA Conference League. And that's, something that he already accomplished when he's 24 years old, being a captain. Plays good football, plays for England. He is a great overall player. But you got to, look at Declan Rice here, not just as a single player that we're going to sign. You got to look at the broader picture. Number one thing, which I mentioned before, was that if we don't sign him, he's already leaving West Ham. And Sullivan, West Ham, CEO or chairman, said that. He said, that the captain wants to part ways, and they were open for offers. Of course, Arsenal is the strongest. Why? Because Bayern Munich and Thomas Tuchel today said, no, we're not going to be able to sign Declan Rice. And when Thomas Tuchel was asked, why would you do that? Would you say that? He said that the player himself has no interest in leaving the Premier League. Well, that's great news. However, it's not so great that now we know he can go to any club in the Premier League. We know now City is looking to, to enforce a little bit more in midfield. That's what Pep Guardiola is saying. I don't know what else you want to enforce. So now the situation is very touchy. Why? We don't want Manchester United, which turned their heads away from now Mason Mount after, of course, Jimmy Carragher saying all over the news that Man United should not be getting Mason Mount. They should be focused all their monies on Declan Rice. So now we have a competition. However, Declan Rice is still, Arsenal are still the favorite to sign him per all the Metro, the Mirror, the Daily News, all the newspapers are saying the same exact thing, that Declan Rice is close to sign for Arsenal. Now, the fee is to be said between the £90 million and £100 million mark. Some reports are saying 90s. Some reports are saying 100. We don't know. Is he very close? Early this week, Declan Rice agreed to personal terms with Arsenal. That means they're very close, very close. So hopefully we get our main man. Now, what worried me was that I heard the news of Thomas Partey's possible departure. I heard that Mikel Arteta wants to sell him to Italian club Serie A, so he can, keep him away from Premier League probably. And also, he's making room for Declan Rice. So let's stop right here. And number one, listen, if Thomas Partey came and flopped towards the end of the year, and that's, what Gary Neville is saying and supporting strongly and hardly, and I agree with that, performance-wise. But I wasn't there. I don't know what happened to the player. Of course, I'm an Arsenal fan. Gary Neville is not. So I love Thomas Partey. He's a great player. For me, as an Arsenal fan, I love to see him in an Arsenal shirt till he retires. So I give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't know personally what happened to him towards the end of the season. Was he fatigued? What is his relation with his manager like? How is his training schedule? What's happening in his personal life? What kind of pressure is he facing? Rumors that's about him. The issue in court towards the beginning of the year. There's lots and lots and lots and lots of things going in his life. Of course, you're going to tell me he's a professional player. He's got to separate his personal life because this is business, blah, blah, blah. Listen, if it's business, then it's personal. It's my business, so it's my personal life. So I don't know what Thomas Partey went through, but I wouldn't put him on sale. He's a great player. I mean, I don't know how many years we fought with Atletico Madrid to get him to play for us. So let's keep players like Thomas Partey. And let's better him. He still have maybe a bit more to offer in his game. I mean, his athleticism is second to none. And that's, to be said, one of the best midfielders or holding midfielders in the world at some point. So let's find that, top performing Thomas Partey. Let's help him get there, not get rid of him and say, okay, listen, I want to sign another midfielder. He's not doing good for me. I don't agree with that. Why did we buy Jorginho? Why? We shouldn't have bought Jorginho because he didn't do anything for us, to be honest, yet. What did he do? He came in and he filled position in games towards the end of the season that we lost the Premier League. So Jorginho did zero. There's no accomplishment, with all due respect. Hopefully, going forward, Jorginho will do more. But I'm sorry, I'm going to be honest with you. I would have waited, and we had that bad experience with Willian in the past, acquiring these older players from Chelsea, and I would have bought Declan Rice or put all my concentration on Declan Rice. But now Granit Xhaka wants to leave also to Bayern-Leverkusen, and reports are saying that they agreed already personal terms. So I don't know what happens to Granit Xhaka, but now you get rid of Xhaka and Partey. You played well with these two the whole entire season. I mean, Thomas Partey got you so many points at the beginning of the season because he was so good. And he was doing exactly what Thomas Partey does. So listen, a player like that can put you on the top of the Premier League. So don't get rid of Thomas Partey. I don't want to get rid of Xhaka either. He's a great player. Jorginho, great as a substitute. Let's add Declan Rice to the mix in the 3-3 formation or whatever in the middle. You got to find him room. You got to bring him, but don't let a whole lot of your midfielders go. We don't have the depth in midfield. Jorginho is not going to win you a Premier League title. Thomas Partey and Declan Rice together will win you a Premier League title. So you have to put the right combination, and letting Thomas Partey go will be a mistake. So hopefully this does not happen. But moving on, Caicedo now, Chelsea's talking to. The fee went down from 75, the other 60 million. Pochettino want to buy players from Brighton. It seems like they have good relations. So he's going for more than one player. He's even going after their goalkeeper. And also reports saying that Pochettino's already put in a bid for Onana. He's clever. Right away, you get the best goalkeeper in the world now. And, the Inter Milan, we saw him at the Champions League final. Onana did fantastic. So now Pochettino moved in for him. And also, might as well, Chelsea is in Italy. They just submitted a 68 million pounds bid for ex-Arsenal target. That's Dusan Vlahovic. Of course, good player, strong player, but what have you done? What have you done with Juventus? Inconsistent performance. Every time I watched him, and I watch, of course, all 5 big leagues in Europe, but the Italian league, not every single game like I do with Premier League. But every time I watched Juventus, I want to say I watched about maybe 20 of their 30 some odd game in their league. So half. To me, he wasn't impressive. So Chelsea wants to buy him, have at it. Pochettino wants to get him. Again, he moved for Onana, and now he's Vlahovic, Caicedo. That's what Chelsea seems to be doing business-wise or close to. Liverpool, let's go to Liverpool. Of course, we know that they got McAllister. He wears the number 10 shirt in Liverpool. Alex McAllister from Brighton, the Argentinian World Cup. Now they're also, they put in a Valverde. They wanted to buy Valverde from Real Madrid and offered to be said a 50 some odd 51 million pounds. They submitted a bid for Valverde. Of course, Real Madrid said, no thanks. We are not going to sell the young Uruguayan, one of the best midfielders and wingers now in the world. He's very, very, very highly rated. And again, we go back to Manchester United before we leave England. Believe it or not, between brackets, I'm going to call this the believe it or not section of the show. They put in, so believe it or not, Manchester United put in a transfer request for William Saliba. Yep. They wanted to buy William Saliba, which is okay, of course. It's not crazy or anything. If not the best defender, one of the best defenders in the world today, William Saliba. So I would definitely put a bid to or try to, buy him if I'm any English club or any top flight European club, right? But when you go in to try to buy him, don't offer, 27 million pounds for him. He's worth more than that. I guarantee you. He's worth in the neighborhood of 80 million at least. And if, he stays with Arsenal a couple more years, he'll be in the neighborhood of $100 million. Yes, absolutely. William Saliba. So don't insult the club and the player by offering 27 million. What was that about? You want to just see if they talk? Well, if you research the player, we bought him from the French league in 2019 for 27 million. So now we're going to sell him for the same, money, same kind of money. And he's one of the best. Of course, Manchester United, that was not smart by you. But we have to also know that Manchester United now it's still in negotiation to be bought out. Yes. So they're still in talks that Man United could be bought out any minute now from the Grizzlies. And if this happened, big money comes in. They want to go after who? Mbappe. They want to go after the PSG star. Now, talking about Mbappe, let's go to France real quick. And of course, one of the, I want to say, most repetitive transfer stories in world football is Mbappe to Real Madrid, right? Is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? Now, the player went out and tweeted that lies bring lies, and that is a lie. I'm very happy with PSG. That's the same player that said, no, I'm not going to sign an extension with you, PSG. I'm not going to even see that year or extra year option in my contract. I want to leave before that happens. Of course, we know that Real Madrid will be the club for Mbappe to go. He wants to play with Vinny Jr. on one side and of course, the young Brazilian, the young, most talented winger in the world right now, Rodrigo. So I think, in my mind, or my eyes, I see Mbappe making that move and going to Real Madrid for some astronomical fee. But remember that Real Madrid just freed about 75 million euros when they offloaded Eden Hazard, Karim Benzema, Marco Asensio, and Mariano. The salaries they were making was 75 million euros. So they can give Mbappe whatever Mbappe wants. But I think that this is very close to happening. I don't think he's going to go to Manchester United. I've never heard him heard him talk about Manchester United. He wants to go to Real Madrid. He wants to win the Champions League. And that's his main priority. I don't know if he likes the Manchester United squad. I am not sure he'll get along with Bruno, their captain, Fernandes. And I just wholeheartedly think that he is going to go to Real Madrid. Now, when? I don't know. This summer, next summer. It's just, again, like what I said in the beginning, the most repetitive transfer story in the history. Every year, oh, he's going to go? Nope. This is like the 9th time. So as you can see, PSG now, Neymar is talking to Manchester United. Maybe he goes to Premier League. Also, Neymar is talking to Pep Guardiola, as far as I heard. Reports are saying. So if he's talking to someone, then maybe he's considering a move. If Mbappe, Messi, and Neymar leave PSG, that is called a rude awakening. Definitely. Also, I'm hearing, hold your horses, that Nagelsmann is going to take over PSG with Thierry Henry as an assistant manager. So we'll see. Because Nagelsmann and Thierry Henry will attract players to go to PSG. But if Neymar leaves, Mbappe leaves, and Messi left already, wow. And talking about Lionel Messi, let's leave PSG and the rumor about Kylian Mbappe, and let's go to the world most talented footballer, the world most well-known footballer, Lionel Messi. The Argentinian, of course, as we all know now, moved to Inter Miami with lots and lots and lots of package and money and offers, but buying it together. It needs a show. It needs a show to talk about, what Messi was offered. But to sum it up for you, the MLS even offered him a franchise, a club that Messi will own in the future. They want to tie him here to the States and tie his future, even if he decides to own a club or be in the soccer business in the future. So, of course, he's very happy about that. He also attracted already players like Luis Suarez, which we see already Inter Miami is locked down already. And we see players now like Sergio Busquets that was going to Saudi Arabia is turning and maybe coming to Inter Miami. And, more players from Barcelona from that age or that era. I don't know. They may do a reunion at the Inter Miami team. That's a very, very good thing for American soccer. We see players like Messi coming, bringing other players with him. Just him being here makes all of us feel very, very happy. People that love soccer, coaches like myself, we talk every day. We're very, very happy to have Lionel Messi come to America. So welcome, Lionel. He's going again to Inter Miami. And just a quick fact, overnight, the average ticket for Inter Miami went from $81 to $428. That's just to show you that people now are not going to just watch a team play. No, they're watching Lionel Messi play. So I think that this is going to be different. People are trying to compare it, with, of course, David Beckham was the guy that made it happen. But they're trying to compare it with the days of David Beckham coming here. They're trying to compare it with Ibrahimovic days. They're trying to compare it with, every other Gareth Bale, every other major star or major soccer / football star in the world. But no, I said no, it's not to be compared. Lionel Messi is different. Plus, he's just 35 and he's got football in him. He's fit. He did it with the best. He kept up with PSG. Look how many games he started or how many games he played last season. He was always fit, and he was always there to be picked for Argentina World Cup. Also, he is a professional. He is a very talented, not just very talented, he's a phenomenal as a soccer player, and he's still giving. So he's different than anyone else that came to the States before. Very excited for next season MLS. Very excited to see Messi play and company, of course. All his friends wants to come out. Even Sergio Aguero want to come out and play with him. Very funny to see him all want to come and play with Messi. Of course, I would do the same. But hey, great news. Lots and lots to cover today. Thank you very, very much. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button. So subscribe, please, and like and share. And that was it for today's transfer episode. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you the next episode.